Hey, I'm Michael Loinger. This is the first course of web design and development, and this is an extremely important topic if you're intending on designing websites. The topic is what and how does the internet work? The reason this topic is so important to understand, at least the basics, if you're web designing, is because it's what sites you will create exist on. So let's learn about the basics of the internet. What is it and how do you connect to it? The internet is the connection you have to any device or data from outside your own device. So, what's a device? Well, a device is hardware or a physical object that manages data with software. Did I confuse you? Well, let's simplify it. What exactly is hardware and software? So, hardware is the outside physical object that you hold and use, and it's the device and all its pieces. In other words, it's the solid object that you can hold in your hand. Now, the software is the system that allows you to use the device interactively. In other words, it's a program. Now, for software, there's different kinds. The two main ones, though, are operating systems and applications. The operating system, or the OS, is essentially Windows Vista, Windows 10, 8, or Mac OS Big Sur, Catalina, and so forth. As for applications, those are programs such as Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Pages, GarageBand. So now that we've learned the generals of what a device is, let's learn about data. Data is pieces of information stored as binary code inside the device. Data is what makes the device work. It both contains the info and tells it how to function. You're probably familiar with at least the term bits and bytes. The binary code is the building blocks of the bits stored as data. A bit is either a 1 or a 0, and it's either on or off. Once you have 8 bits, it equals 1 byte. From there, it takes 1,000 bytes to equal 1 kilobyte. It adds up the same way for megabytes. 1 megabyte is 1,000 kilobytes. 1,000 megabytes is 1 gigabyte. 1,000 gigabytes is a terabyte. And anything beyond that, and you're talking about crazy amounts of storage. So what is considered data? You may be thinking of an image, movie, Word document. You probably weren't thinking of settings in your preferences. All of these things are actually data. But as for the preferences, programmers had to write code and store it on the computer to give you the option to even change your preferences in the first place. Have you ever wondered why your computer always starts with less space than it originally is advertised for? Well, that's because it's filled with many programming files that allow you to actually use the functionality of the computer as you would expect it. Usually the reason that you can't find and delete those files is because they're hidden within folders that you many times can't delete or is difficult to find. Without those files, though, the data of your device wouldn't even work. So now that we know what devices, hardware, software, and data are, what's next? And how do we connect to the internet? Next, we'll learn about networks, switches, and routers.